Our brand new foiling dies, our stamp, cut and lift, are the newest technology in foil stamping, and they are exquisite. If you want to be able to make fantastic creations like this where your project remains intact in the card, but then you've got this beautiful lift foil detail, then this little how-to video is for you. I'm sure you will agree, these look absolutely divine. It's simpler than you might imagine. We've designed the dies to work where they leave the foil intact on the card, but they also cut the small details that you need to be able to lift the wings. Now, to get that perfect foil every time, to keep yourself organised so that you can repeat this project many times, there's a couple of little top tips that I've got for you to make this incredibly easy and effortless. So we're going to have a look at how to do it, and in a couple of minutes you're going to be foiling these beautiful foil, stamp, cut and lift dies all the time at home, and your projects are going to look amazing. First things first, what are we going to do to get ourselves prepared? We're going to get a scrap piece of cardstock. Now, my piece of cardstock here is beautifully pristine, as you can see, so that you can see what I'm doing. This can be an old, messy, cruddy, inked up, stamped on piece of cardstock at home, because it's purely going to be a catch for any excess foil. So we're going to take our piece of cardstock that we've selected and choose the size of project that we want to work on. I've got a 6 by 6 inch piece of cardstock here. This could be 4 by 4, it could be 5 by 7, however big you want it to be. To use the full size of your larger 9 by 12 platform is absolutely fine. Here's an example for of an 8 by 8 card. So you can see you can really use all of that space if that's what you'd like to do. I'm going to mark on my piece of white card where my project corners are, and so this doesn't even have to be a regular shape. This could be a die cut heart, for example. All you need to do is get your locations in place. I've got my locations in place, and then I just need to take my dies and work out what I would like my project to be. What is the layout of my foil, stamp, cut and lift dies? So I've arranged these little dragonflies in a formation that I would like on the front of my project, and then I'm going to draw around them. So I'm just going around them with my pencil, and you're going to do that for all of those dies. It doesn't have to be very, very precise. You're just getting the rough outline and the location, and go around and do that for all of them. Once you've done that, you remove the die, take your craft knife, and on the outside of the pencil line, not on the inside, not on the outside of the pencil line, so that you cut that entire line away, you're going to cut out the apertures for that project, which I've already done here for you. So once I've done that, you can see I've got my location, I've laid out my dies, and I've cut round them, so now I've got the location of where my project's going to be. I've also got my piece of cardstock that I'm going to foil on that we used to get our location of our project. And I've got my piece of foil already cut to size. So now what we're going to do is just take a little piece of repositionable tape, and we're going to hinge this so it stays in place. Now, what you will have noticed is also that I have got my metal plate, which comes with the 9 by 12 platform, already in place, and I've got my foil press up to temperature, ready to use. So once I've popped that in place there, I've now got a hinged template, which is going to allow me to get perfect positioning for my foil, stamp, cut and lift dies, and my metal plate underneath is already at temperature, we can see. So once I've done that, I now simply take the dies again and I place them through the template onto the metal plate below. There we go. And this one. And then what I can do now is lift up my template. There we are. Lift up my template, pop my foil in place, And remember, the coloured side of your foil always goes down. Pop my foil down, lay my template over the top because I've got that hinge in place. I've got my project, which now gets placed within its locators that I've used on my template. Take the top plate that comes with the machine, pop that down and heat it. And I'm going to need to heat this for 20 seconds. So I'm popping this on to 20, clicking start and allowing that to count down. Once it's beeped, it's ready for us. So we just remove the platform. And remember, when you're removing your platform, because it's larger and it's warmer, and you'll have watched this on the how-to video for the foil press itself, use your finger grippers if you're sensitive to heat. Bring this out horizontally. So we're never going to lever it with the handle. We're pulling it out horizontally, taking care to keep that flat. Pick it up and pop it through your Gemini machine. Remove your top plate. Pick up your project. The dies will have cut through your project. Your foil will have come through the template. The wings will lift, as you can see here. And here's one I did earlier. So you see now I have that in place. I can continue. Let's say I was making a batch of wedding invitations. I can continue using this template with those dies in place, because all I need to do is lift up my template, remove my foil carrier sheet. Now I used, you can see there, a bigger piece of foil than I really needed to do. You can cut your pieces of foil to the size of your dies, of course you can. I've done this for speed. Now all I need is another piece of foil on here. I don't need to move anything, it's all ready. I pop my template down again, I pop my next piece of cardstock on top, and I'm ready to go. And I could do 10, 12, 15, 20, 100 of those, because I want them always to be in the same place, and it's going to be perfect every single time. Using that foolproof method of creating yourself a template is going to allow you to get these kinds of results very quickly, very easily, with absolute precision every time. And it's also going to allow you to batch make. I would always keep this template, because you've got your repositionable tape on there. I would be sticking this in a folder, or I would be writing a name on wedding invitations on this date. I would even be taking a photograph of my finished project, or foiling myself one and attaching it and keeping it in a folder so that I can come back to this time and time again. And you can reuse your template 100, 120, as many times as you like, because this foil will never come onto your project. It's always away from your project, and the top of your project is always clean. That is my top tip for foolproof, easy foil stamp cut and lift projects that are effortless and are going to look truly exquisite.